So what are the non-art skills artists should have?
I would say don't make decisions in haste. कि मुझे ये करना है, मैं यही करूँगा ज़िंदगी भर. कल ऐसा हो जाए कि that industry itself will not be there.
Why did Indian youngsters go so much behind anime and manga? Is it just because it is free? No.
वो डर रहता है ना कि राइट कि AI will replace artist or replace कर रहे हैं, right?
Inevitably, you will be replaced. But don't fear AI. I don't think we live our life fearing that one day we'll die, right? Some people think that, oh, I can also be an artist right now. Yes, you can also be an artist, but you're not the artist that I am.
So in the next 5 years, so what kind of artist will struggle?
An artist who...
So hi Manoj sir.
Hello.
Welcome to the series. How are you?
I'm good, and thank you so much for having me here.
So first of all, thank you for giving us your valuable time also.
It's a pleasure.
So first of all, I want to ask how you got interested in this field. From school, from college, कैसे interest आया आपका?
That's quite an interesting thing to actually say. I remember giving this context in many of my illustrated presentations in many design schools. I am not an art student at all. Neither am I a design student. Okay, so what that means is I want to study art, but I never had a kind of an environment to do that. My parents were super supportive, but there were no art schools around the place where I was, and my dad was far away working. I was back at home, and my supporting family were a little skeptic about sending me far away. And also, my family is full of engineers and doctors, and so that whole thing. So my uncle and everyone who was there at home, they always thought that, hey, you know what, follow the footsteps of your father. My father later on came to say, you should have done what you really want, and that's why I actually said that's good. So I did finish my graduation in physics. And then I took up animation because I was drawing sketches at the back of my book. और मेरे प्रोफेसर ने बोला मुझसे कि तू क्यों कर रहा है? You're supposed to be an artist. बोला कि सर मेरे को पता नहीं था. हाँ तो then you should ask people, right? And I said हाँ. Then there's something called NID and then NIFT. So I wrote the exams. But I wrote the exams. I did the interviews. But something kept telling me कि इससे कुछ ज़्यादा है. But there's something else that I really want to do. And then animation struck to me, and that was a perfect place. I think I always feel animation is the perfect jack of all trades. You have acting, you have cinematography, you have design, you have voice, you have storytelling. I think that's one field where it's a parent art form where every single design field would come together. You're an industrial designer, you are a product designer, you are a vehicle designer, creature designer, everything. And you're also an artist. And you can give voices. So I went across to Hyderabad. I enrolled into an academy. It's not there right now. It's called the Heart Animation Academy. And I met a bunch of great talented artists. Unfortunately, that academy didn't go for a long time. So back again, square one, paisa gaya pura. So wapas aaya. Then I was so lucky that I saw a small ad at that time in Malayalam Manorama paper in Hyderabad, which is calling for people at Trivandrum for a studio called Toons Animation. And that's when I signed up. But I didn't go to the academy for 1 week. Every day and night, I used to draw and put a bunch of sketches and I send across. And जैसे बोलते ना, every Kung Fu Panda has a master shifu. I got picked by someone who I think is the person who changed my life. His name is Ajit Rao, actually. He was my mentor, and he's still my mentor. He's still my friend. He said कि तू क्या कर रहा है, आजा, come. And that was when my journey started. So I did all of this to come back to this. So I've been driven by curiosity, smitten by curiosity, in the right way of saying. I don't regret what I'm doing right now. Ever since, it's been a roller coaster ride. I did 2D animation. I was into comic books, illustration. I did a bit of graphic design. I did a bit of UI design, theme park design, graphic novels, whatnot. Concept art for games. This is console game. I work with Ubisoft, Electronic Arts. Then I got excited into IP of animation. Then I worked on episodic animation. Then worked with projects for Netflix, Nickelodeon, Disney, which was Technicolor and Mikros Animation. Then I came to currently working with a company called Gameberry Labs, a wonderful place. We are into free-to-play games, and I don't know where life will take me next turn. I hope I answered it.
Yeah, we don't know, right?
Yeah. I think we should, as artists, we should just explore where it goes.
So you have been shifted so many times, right?
Yeah.
From animations to
Yeah.
comic art. So what mindset helped you to get that skill to
That's a very wonderful question. Honestly speaking, I don't know. I think I've never been afraid of embracing the unknown. That is what my teachers have said. And again, there's another person whom has influenced me a lot in technical. My senior at work, a couple of great seniors like I had C.G. Thomas, and then I had P.C. Vikram, great friends and awesome, artists and designers. The bravery you get for being an artist who can speak, talk, and still do the work. I think that's a character which I acquired from these people. कि मतलब करो किसी से डरो मत and do the work and then be adaptable. You are like a liquid. You never know where the next work comes from. You never know where the next client comes from. So I always went that way. And if you look at it, the concepts of design and art are basically everywhere the same. What I'm doing right now is very different. I would say I'm the most junior most person in free-to-play game industry in India, but I have learned so much in the last 9 months that I'm like, wow, if I hadn't joined here, I would have never known this. Now, if I go back and come, this learning will stay. The learning that I had from comic books will stay. The learning that I had in concept art will stay. So you're kind of like a magnet. चुंबक जैसे ना पूरा एक एक करके ले रहा है. So that will never go from you. I think at one point of time I can be generalist. I can always go back to any industry. So I think it's a wonderful thing to be.
So a great mentor, right? कि
हाँ,
mentors होना उतना
very
ही
important,
important है.
very important, very
एक अपना
important.
passion plus
Plus,
great
yeah,
mentor.
you'll never go anywhere without mentors. You'll never go anywhere without helping others. Is my motto. You have to help people. I honestly feel it's very important because आप एक trick pony नहीं बन सकते. मतलब if you're a magician, you should give away your magic. Then only do you have space to learn a new magic. Yeah.
So after all these transitions, what was the hardest transition? Either you
Hardest
have
transition is
yes.
everything was hard actually. Everything was hard. Nothing was easy. Because the thought process of the domain is very different. The thought process of a domain in a company or in a brand or in a production house is very different. Okay, animation itself is practiced in various ways. Pipelines and workflows are very different in different companies. Free to play games right now, what I'm doing, first 3 months I was struggling because I was wondering like, hey, how exactly does it work? But then I knew that this industry is very close to monetization. And you have to understand what your player would think and what makes it. This is not just art for sake of fine art. This is art related to economics. Then you understand कैसे कैसे करना क्या करना है यहाँ पे. So once you learn that, you know what color would attract that buyer. What's the taste of which age group of people from which demographic area, what area. Then you understand कि अच्छा ये है, इस फेस्टिवल में ये देखा जाता है, इस रीजन में ये अच्छा लगता है लोगों को, ये पसंद है. That's a different kind of a ball game, which I would never have understood. I think 3 to 4 months effort is there in every industry. And I would say nothing is easy, nothing is hard.
So let's say कि, making an art is a different thing, right?
Yes.
And understanding of people.
Yes.
That's a different kind of.
That's a very different. I agree with you. There is fine art, which basically is done for your own satisfaction, your own happiness. Then there is applied fine art, which means it's applied for industry. That is very much in tune with what the industry wants, what that region wants, what that client wants. Probably you'll not get to express everything you want to do in that because your client has a certain taste. Aligning with them is very important. But आप खुद के लिए drawings बना रहे हो तो that is a different story. So it's like in the life of Batman. You are Bruce Wayne for a job and you're a Batman for your passion. So if दोनों को balance कर सके तो nothing like it.
So those who are working, right? Working in the film industry, working in the gaming industry. So if they have to shift between these, so what should they adapt?
So there is, first of all, every artist I feel has a designer in them, and every designer has an artist. I think what happens is people make a decision in haste and they will say, I'm an artist, and they make a bottom line very soon. Understanding the application of design is very important, and understanding the artistry in making designs, it's a very fine balance. One cannot exist without the other, according to me. That's my way of looking at it. So first of all, you have to be very curious. You have to practice curiosity in life. You have to look at magazines and understand कि अच्छा ये fashion designer इन्होंने कैसे किया ये? What's making his designs so different? What is urban design? What is landscape design? Look at all of them, and you can come back and say, how can I apply the design philosophy of a certain designer in animation if I'm doing? And they're all connected. It's up to you to connect the dots. So if you are a newbie stepping in, I'd say you should never stereotype yourself or put yourself in a box. Be open to everything. Now, though, it's very, very, very vast. Everything is available in your pocket, right? Only thing is you have to dedicate time to make sure that you make note of things, refer to them, And the more you are open, the more the world will open up to you. I think I would say don't make decisions in haste कि मुझे ये करना है, मैं यही करूँगा ज़िंदगी भर. कल ऐसा हो जाए कि that industry itself will not be there, the way the technology is progressing right now. So you have to be a generalist, according to me. That generalist mindset is what I would advise for people who are coming up in the future.
So don't be rigid.
Don't be rigid, be flexible, embrace the inevitable and embrace the unknown, and always learn things. Yeah.
So what skills from the animation industry that you are putting into the game industry now?
Oh, okay. I think representation skills by any way, whether that be 2Ds, doodles, even if you make a wireframe for a flow for UX, it is still nothing but making a storyboard for an animation. It's the telling of a story. One is telling an experience of an app, the other is telling the experience of a story in whichever frame you are. I think the genetic base of all of them is same. One is one way of story, the other one is another way of story. Quick representation skills like doodling, sketching, making quick, always carry a sketchbook in your pocket kind of a thing. I think that's one skill which animation has taught me, which, if अगर कुछ आप पूछेंगे मुझे कैसे करना है ना, I would just quickly take a paper and say ऐसे यहाँ से ऐसे जाते हैं. So you're a very picturesque person. You always like to demonstrate in pictures, which only animation will give you. Probably illustration and comic book also. वो कोई industry नहीं देगा आपको. So that is something which I am so fascinated. The animation will first tell you to talk with the pencil first and then baki. That's a big boon that I think every industry will make use of.
How to visualize, right? What you're thinking.
That's a good question. I mean, there are different tools. There are different ways of visualizing things. I mean, if you don't have an idea, if you have an idea first, you don't have a visual, then you brainstorm, you do doodling. If you have a concept and you really have to represent something really quick, client आ रहा है 4 बजे को, अब 3 बज गए, 1 घंटे में करना है. So you also look at something like, I always look at abstract shapes and figure out, this is what it is required. Okay, let's try this. Make options. Don't rely on one single option. Make multiple options. And उसमें से एक तो बनेगा वो. So that fast prototyping is animation's boon. Sketch करके 4-5 variations बनाना. Then go ahead and do it. Yeah, animation has taught me that a lot.
So what does good art direction means beyond scale and beyond art?
Oh, well, that's a beautiful question actually. Art direction according to me is understanding the style of whatever project you're doing, whether that be a game or a comic book or a magazine that you're handling or an event you're handling, is to understand the core concept behind it. What is this all about? What is the representation I'm planning? What is the overall theme of the whole thing? What is the design language of it? And selecting the right shapes, selecting the right forms, understanding the story, understanding the color scheme, and then make sure that you don't do everything, but you have a set of artists to whom you give the freedom to do it. उनको सिर्फ guide करना है. You have to guide them, see, okay, that is too much. Well, you have to try this, but yeah, what you're doing is correct. If you are a single artist, then you're doing everything makes sense. I believe in being an art director who have 4 or 5, 6 artists, जिनको वो creative liberty मिले and they work on their own. But you just have to cater to them that they're not going away from your North Star. The North Star is this vision, which the client might give or my creative director will give me. And strongly speak about that, create style guides, create proper mood boards, create color guides, color scripts, and guide your team to perform accordingly. And I'm talking right now from an animation perspective, but any other industry, art direction is that. But interesting thing about art direction is art is not the most important thing. Direction is very important because you are the person who's the captain of the ship for our other artists. अगर आप गुम हो जाओगे तो मतलब then everybody is lost. So let the artists do the art, but direct them properly with right examples and be good with people. That summarizes it.
So what you usually break in the production? सबसे पहले क्या break होता है? जैसे कोई project start हुआ, right? तो starting में पूरा passion and जोश रहता है कि हाँ इसे करेंगे. So what you usually break first in the production? Either vision, pipeline, or communication?
Communication first. Communication, because everybody has a dream. If let's say I'm talking from a commercial angle, every client would come with a dream in mind. Some clients have a skill to articulate what they require. Some people don't have it, but they all have a vision in their mind. But they are having a feeling that, okay, I'm coming to you right now because you have a better way of showing it. पहले ये करना है कि उनसे जो है ना, उनके मन में जो है वो निकालना है. So you have to communicate with them. Sometimes verbal communication works, sometimes mail communication works, but I don't trust in any of them. You have to show pictures because you work in a visual medium. Show them examples कि अच्छा ये मूवी जैसे ये स्कीम्स ये मुझे ये अच्छा लगा होगा कि हाँ ये अच्छा है लेकिन मुझे ये नहीं वो अच्छा वो क्या है. Then you have to take it from them. It's like fishing in dark waters. Some clients are very clear, okay, because they're experienced industry. But just because a client does not know how to describe doesn't make them a bad client. That is making your job tougher. But sometimes those projects end up being the best because आप उनको इतना help करोगे कि what comes out turns out to be pearls. And then once you get it, now show them the visuals that you have in mind, and then you guide them. They are basically I look at some of my clients as kids who need guidance, but of course they have a lot of money to pay. That's why we work for them. But they're also very happy, like how kids will be happy because their dream has been accomplished by us. So I think communication, representation are the foremost skills in the beginning of a project. Then comes pipeline, workflow, कौन सा tools use करना है, what kind of that's a very interesting thing in animation and gaming. Gaming में it's full control. Animation is very interesting. We look at the movies that are coming up in Netflix and other channels. Everything's looking very stylized right now. So a lot of research, look development, look of the picture happens. A vertical slice happens in gaming. So then comes the production. Then everybody is happy. Then comes the whole production, which is like aankh band karke drive karo because now you deliver on time. That first part is what I really like. That's your work. Then your team will work. Then you go back, you only look for reviews or आप दूसरी project में जाओगे because this is kind of done. It's now on wheels. Now we'll run. Unless कहीं पे आग लग गया, then you come back. But it happens. I have a wonderful team of look development artists working with some of the most talented look development people in Mikros Animation. They're all different places, but the amount of research we did, the amount of जोश जो है ना सुबह आके हम ये करते हैं, कल ये देखा कि हाँ अरे ऐसे कैसे करो, अरे उन लोगों ने ऐसे किया था वो, अरे वो तो महंगा लेकिन सस्ता कैसे करते, तो ये ढूंढना है, मतलब we do that, we crack things, and they are magicians, they are wizards, and I have huge respect to look development teams all around the world.
So what differentiate a great team from the good one?
Great team from good work. I feel good work is what everybody does.
No, not good work, good one. Let's say
अच्छा, great from good.
Great and good.
Great and good. Good people deliver. Okay, great people stand by each other. मतलब they stand by each other. They will not call the other bad. Like भले वो कितनी भी छोटे टीम हो, if there are 4-5 people, किसी और की कमजोरी जो है ना, the other people will cover it up, and he or she will not claim it. That's a great team. Team is important. The greater the team, there is no human being, there is no individual, it's team. I work with people where there's somebody who has gone on leave. He has an emergency, and अरे वो चला गया, वो फाइल नहीं खत्म की, मतलब the other person would have done that overnight. I said अरे उनको जाना था ना, that's okay, मैंने कर दिया ना, वो उनका काम है, उनके नाम पे. That is great team. So you know that they're like, it's like a well orchestrated team. And great team also go out for a drink. You go out to have lunch together. You have families connected because you talk about doing good things beyond work also. To me, that is there for them. It's not job; it's passion. वो लहू में होता है, मतलब that's. I feel that's a greater team. Good teams are every team is good team, by the way. But I've been fortunate to work with great teams. Yeah, I am still connected with them, even though I changed companies. My greater team members are like my SWAT members. I will call them when there's an operation, they'll come back to me.
Yeah. So that's why it's great, right?
Yeah, it's really great. Yeah. Also great human beings, great teachers.
Not just good team, they are just good human beings.
Yeah. Like all the mentors whom I've worked with, I've mentioned. Ajit sir ko to I always call him and have a word with him. I've never missed calling him on Teachers' Day because he's a teacher who has really taught me. He's more than a teacher. Stu Thomas, Vikram. Because I know them also personally. I also know them as good friends because their artwork is so awesome. I don't think there's anyone who can beat them. But they also are good teachers. So they are also a great team to work with. Then you respect, the respect grows for great team. Yeah.
So नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन मैंने वैसे मेंशन नहीं किया तो मेरे को वैसे याद आ गया कि मैं वैसे पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि लेट्स से कि हमारे इंडियन इंडस्ट्री में तो एक 2D एनिमेशंस मूवीज होती है, राइट? हमने मूवीज में वर्क किया है, तो वी आर प्रोड्यूसिंग इट कि इधर आई डिडंट गेट एनी, या मेरे को नहीं पता है, तो एनी गुड मूवीज की 2D एनिमेशंस और प्रॉपर 3D एनिमेशंस?
There are people who are working hard, but we all understand that 2D animation and 3D animation by itself is
Yeah,
a very
basically
laborious
animation.
process. It requires a lot of funding, a lot of patience, and a lot of artistry. When you go to 2D animation, it's even more challenging because 2D requires hardcore drafting skills, right? अब जिस जमाने से मैं आया हूँ मतलब 2D animation days, we had to draw everything. So your anatomy, your perspective, everything has to be perfect. So you cannot be a 2D animator till your drawing is very good. Now that art, I don't know how it is evolving, but I rarely come across a lot of 2D animators. There's some very talented people, and there are people who are probably borrowing money from others because they don't have money, but still great movie makers making film. I have huge respect. Like I have a friend called Sumat Pal, wonderful designer, great comic book artist, great graphic novel artist. He has made films. And I know how much all my friends struggle to make films, but they are phenomenally good, and I wish them all the very best. They're not studios; they're individuals. Apart from everything else that we all go through in the world, like I'm struggling, they have that passion running. So 2D animation, a lot of animations are happening. A lot of people. Per se, I don't remember anything happening recently. But if you look at some of the recent films that have changed, the Naksha Badal Diya Na Abhi India come a lot of 3D animation films. I wish them all the very best. I'm no one.
Yeah, 3D is there. कि
3D is
देखा है
there.
मैंने देखा है
हाँ,
वहाँ पर
हाँ.
अच्छा लगता है
Exactly,
यहाँ.
exactly. Yeah. But I have a feeling that there are people who are doing short films right now. I wish there are more producers who come across and invest. कि इंडिया में टैलेंट की कोई कमी नहीं है, इंडिया में स्किल की कोई कमी नहीं है. You just have to trust that thing. जैसे कि बाकी मूवीज बन रहा है, people should invest in it. Premium institutes like NID and design colleges like JJ, there are people who come out and they all become animators. Everybody wants to make a film. You just need to get some production running, timelines favorable.
So the thing is कि we have stories, right? कि
Yeah.
इंडिया में कुछ stories की कमी नहीं है हमारे पास. But the thing is कि वही कि हमें देखने के लिए नहीं मिलता, right? I have seen कि अभी मैं देख रहा था अभी yesterday I went on a flight, so there was a Tomb Raider अभी, right? There was another Castlevania, if you have seen. तो वैसे है, तो the people behind it are also Indian, but they are in the US.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I agree with you. That's but can't blame anyone because it's a choice some person makes. I know a bunch of great animators who work with all friends who work with Disney and DreamWorks and everyone. At the time, if we had that infrastructure in India, could support them, we could have had them in India and we could have made films. When you say there's no shortage of stories in India, I agree with you. But what also happens is we also have to define the story for the new generation. Like I'll give an example to you. Why did Indian youngsters go so much behind anime and manga? It's a big question, right? Is it just because it is free? No. If you look at some of the wonderful mangas out there, the storytelling is so good. The way it is told is brilliant. That's also one more thing. The characters can be relatable. The angst, the problems, the concerns they have at their age is easily relatable. If we also do things by knowing, because nobody else in the society knows us more than us. ये हमारा मौका है. We have to do that, and we have to come up with our own thing. Not to beat anybody. That's wrong, but to do it. If you read and watch documentaries of how manga came in Japan, they were printed in the cheapest papers, and thick books, and it was available everywhere for cheapest rates, and everybody used to read. Now, how many of us read comic books? Now, we know that there are festivals happening, but how much of comic books are actually happening? I know people who are struggling and really putting comic books out there. I grew up reading comic books. I grew up reading more than Tinkle and everything. I used to grow up reading Indrajal comics. It was my favorite. Balaki wo matlab you are in Western syndicate comics. Like in Bahadur, the comic book, which I still feel was the biggest Indian hero. डाकू से लड़ते थे वो, and he was like, what a character. I used to watch, and then have you seen real comics? It had a small circle on top of it, and you see the character there. पता लगता है ये फैंडम का है, ये मैंड्रिक, ये गार्थ है, फ्लैश गॉर्डन है. तो and those comics were like what, $3, $4, $5. It was easily accessible. कोई भी ठेले में you could have bought it. Now we don't get comics. I think publishing is one thing. It has to be reachable to people, and industry will instantaneously come. Because there are artists who are working for foreign syndicates. If you have that kind of growth happening in India, then comics, then films, then characters, then stories, it'll evolve and it'll catch fire. Like in a year, it'll happen. We have to initiate that. Unfortunately, I cannot say that because everybody is struggling hard to make a living. I'm doing something on my own. It's only meant for me. And, maybe I'll release it someday. Maybe I'll publish it. But I think, as you rightfully said, there are stories in India. But, we just have to recognize them, fund them, and give recognition to the artists who are working on it. Very important. I know a lot of people who are working on a few things. I wish them all the very best. When they release something, I'll be the first one to clap for them.
So what are the non-art skills artists should have?
I strongly feel that one of the things that artists are basically made fun of is that, communication skills. And that's not about your diction, your language. It's a very different skill because artists are basically a shy crowd. Okay. I feel that there was a time when you could afford it. Now, at this point of time, I would encourage that draw, at the same time, also learn to talk about your art. Because you are living in a very noisy world. आपका आवाज भी सुननी चाहिए लोगों को. It's very important, and to put your voice across. And when I see some youngsters doing good work and then putting the word out and talking about it, I feel like ये बंदा मस्त ही कर रहा है. Doesn't mean the person who doesn't talk doesn't mean, but who will work for them? Who will talk for them? हालांकि there's nobody to help them. You are the only one to blame for. Push something, and I always feel that's one place we should put. There are people in rural villages, wonderful artists. Who will make them the artist whom we want them to be seen? Yourself first, then the society. That's first skill. Second thing is stay curious in life. I think I always say that's a biggest skill set. You have to be very curious, because a curious kid will ask questions. A curious kid will not have a problem making a fool of yourself. That kid will learn. I was that kid. I'm still that kid. That's a very important thing. Don't shut your doors soon. Third thing is choose everything, be open, read a lot, look at the world. Don't look at internet. Don't look at I mean, you can do all those things. I'm not, but look at the world outside. Go out sketch if you're an artist. Look at life. Watercolor. Do a painting outside. It's very important to look at the world, not through the smaller panel. It's far more beautiful when it's beyond the panel. These are skills which if I have a way of opening up a college or sometime, I will first encourage these skills. ये चाहिए, because this is a very important thing. And then you should be a brand of your own. You should be able to talk about your work, come outside, hold your exhibitions on your own, give an interview. And now that you are actually doing this channel, I wish more youngsters will come, and they will come. There are some very smart people out there. I feel these skills are very important.
Because most youngsters those who are working, they are just either they are working, like they are not upgrading themselves. Either they don't have time, either freshers, they just want job. I just need a job. I need money. So art is not always about the money.
No, it's not. But it's changing. Okay, the new generation I'm working right now, and I'm saying generation means I'm an oldie right now. I'm in my late 40s, but the guys I'm working with, girls I'm working with, they're in their mid 30s, and I really feel that they're more open than when I was at their age.
True.
The world is more open. So, but I agree with you. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, next generation will be different.
It will be no different.
They want to explore.
Yes.
Not just Java and think they want to explore another thing. अच्छा मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ?
True. So I agree with you.
I think they're changing.
Changing. I remember not taking a leave from my first job for almost a year. काम करना है, because we were in that situation. Like, we were coming from humble families. Dad had retired, save the money. But now I see youngsters taking a break, going to Ladakh for a trip, and I said, wow. And then I said, actually, I am wrong. I was wrong. This is how you should live your life. The life doesn't come back to you, right? There's a right way of doing it. Unfortunately, I never had that thing, which is my problem, not theirs actually.
No, we have seen our parents doing that.
हम conservative, हाँ, exactly.
हमने देखा है तो हम वैसे हैं, right?
बराबर.
Next generation is different. अच्छा है, मेरा क्या है, मैं वो देखूँगा.
Should never judge anyone and never let yourself being judged. Live and let live, basically.
So if someone want to move from the concept artist to art director,
okay.
So what should they change first?
Concept artist, by the description of the job, is when they were the concept artist, the word itself, everybody looks at art first. That's because of concept art, but that's not the right way. Concept is more important. Okay, if I'm hiring a concept artist, I will not hire an artist for his artistic skills alone. I will hire a person because his or her imagination her or his imagination should actually be superior. They should be able to get the style of the game and quickly make rough sketches and sell the best rough sketches and then make final art. Final art पे skill आता है, but your conceptualization, your imagination is where I'm hiring them for. Also the sense to do research. This is the path of being an art director. An art director would actually have a bigger ownership, jabki he will also handle the art. And I'm talking right now from a gaming perspective, like a console game perspective. It's very different from other gaming. If you're working for a AAA game, you'll start with a narrative design of a game, and then understand the narrative design, and then you'll make your first mood boards, references. You'll establish the style of the game. Yeah, if you look at Assassin's Creed, it's got a specific style. Which region? Where's the assassin coming from? What time is it? कहाँ पे हो रहा है? Venice में हो रहा है या फिर what part of the world is it? Do research. If it's strict history, do a lot of research. That will go to your artist, and the artist will add enough fiction to make it interesting. क्योंकि पूरा history बनेगा तो वो textbook बनेगा. Then how can you balance it with assassins who are also interesting to look at? But I've seen them somewhere in history, but leaking this is more fictitious. That's where the artist would come. But this guiding them is what an art director is. So if you choose to only do the art, you'll never become an art director. You have to also understand how can I direct the vision of it. And for that, you have to first have the vision. Just conceptualization, talking to people, talking to the narrative designer, talking to the creative director of the game, understanding sounds. Because you have to have a sense of everything. Because an art director will soon become the next level. So I feel the right growth is to have a good grasp of everything, but not just the art. Art direction is not always about art. It's about direction, setting the tone, guiding people, mentoring people, hiring the right talent, commissioning the right freelance. It's very important.
How do you, let's say, you have outsourced many work, right?
I have worked with outsourced artists. I have succeeded and failed.
How do you handle them? Either art, development and all things. So
how
do you handle them?
When you have hiring a consultant or when you're hiring a freelancer from outside, you basically hire that person because their portfolio has something that matches the style of the game that I'm working on. So I'll select, okay, this guy is very good in environment and weapons, but not so good with characters. And character के लिए मैं किसी और को लूँगा. Or for creatures के लिए, I'm saying if my game has creatures, then that way. And then I'll also see this guy can do creatures, but these creatures are very run-of-the-mill creatures. I want something very special. I can have creatures that are very much like you look at Del Toro's world, very specific. Hellboy's world is very different. So his vision of creatures are very different. I look at reels all the time. I look at ArtStation all the time. And the imagination, you can see that some people are just bashing photographs and creating stuff, but some people really put a lot of thought. उनकी drawing के side पे रहता है कि ऐसा है ये movie का रखते तो मतलब वो सोच रहा है उसका सोच दिखाई देता है. That's what I look for. Because skill they'll do it because they're artists by the way. But that soch is where that is more important. 1 rupee for hammering on the nail and 99 rupees for knowing where to hammer. That's how I will hire. And some people deliver and you give the freedom to them. Tell them to do it. And people will do it. Some people have tough and easy to handle people. I work with all kinds of people. And some people work, some people don't.
True. We don't know beforehand, right?
You never know. Yeah, true.
So, do you think story and storytelling will be more or less in the future?
Story or storytelling?
Style and storytelling.
Can you repeat the question again?
Style and storytelling will be more or less in the future.
Oh, I think style is going to be, if you look at the kind of movies and long format animation. Now I'm talking from animation perspective. There's going to be a lot more actually. Like for example, you look at the Arcane series. Arcane is all style driven, but wonderful story. Okay, you look at League of Legends. It's League of Legends again, but you look at those kind of content, very stylistic driven, very stylistic, right? I mean, Nimona. If you look at Orion and the Dark, very stylistic stories. So style is something which you will never be able to control and comprehend. It will change. Storytelling is a different question. It depends upon what you are, how you want to tell story, whether in the format of a mobile phone on a small reel or a micro drama, or you really want to tell an animation. I think even if what we're doing right now, we told a story, right? Sure. Storytelling is here to stay. It will never go anywhere. Even after humans, evolve or whatever happens, technology changes, AI comes in, storytelling is always there. I think you cannot take storytelling away from humans' life. Without story, we have pictures on the wall. Without a story, by the way. Yeah, so I think they're both here. Style is evolving. Wonderful evolution of style. We are seeing wonderful styles. Now is the time to do a lot of styles.
So with real-time engines, AI, and immersive technologies.
Yeah.
So what excites you or what worries you?
All of them excites me. I am a purist by my own terms when I'm doing my watercolor or sketchbook, but I'm also having equal respect to generative art. As long as you're not relying on happy accidents alone. Um, now, this is a longer topic by itself for a podcast, but I really want to touch. I know there are people who tell ki AI is here to do what. I also used to say the same thing. I have a feeling that unless you work on AI properly and you work like an artist in AI, AI is not exactly Photoshop, by the way. People compare it as a tool. It is a tool, but it's something different. In a Photoshop, you have a workflow. That workflow cannot go wrong unless you have a bug in the thing. But in AI, you train a model. It can go wrong sometimes in the future also. The idea is you're playing with a junior apprentice whom you're training. I see AI models like that. And you work on it again and again. You train them. One fine morning, a person who works with you for 3 years resigns and goes. Your model is completely corrupted. You take another model. It all happens with AI. So you treat them as human being. Only thing is it's a program. But if you are an artist and you know the basics of artistry, color theories, understanding this, you feed art and get art. That an artist alone can do. There you have a better hand in creating art in AI than a normal person. That is where an artist will win in AI. I and my team, a wonderful team of people, don't just prompt it. We make sketches, we do painting in Photoshop, and then we feed them and say, I want this style. And then we do sub prompting to get it. So it is not just prompting, not just giving picture. We paint and draw. कल की डेट पे अगर AI बोला कि कोई प्रोग्राम आके बोला मैं 3 दिन काम नहीं कर रहा हूँ, बाय बाय टाटा बाय बाय, I will resolve and go back to drawing because I know drawing, or my team knows drawing. That is an artist's thing. So I think you should not say no and yes without properly working on something. I respect AI, and AI is here to stay. Okay, there's no point in fighting with a mountain, right?
So वो डर रहता है ना कि राइट कि AI will replace artist और replace कर रहे हैं राइट कि मार्केट में रहता है कि होता है कि लगता है कि अच्छा हम क्या करेंगे हमें क्या फील्ड चूज करना चाहिए राइट कि द लॉन्ग लास्टिंग फील्ड जो चलेगा राइट कि समवन आस्क्ड मी एक फ्रेशर मेरे को पूछा है कि अच्छा मैं क्या फील्ड चूज करूँ कि AI ना हो उसमें ना आ पाए मैंने कहा ऐसा कुछ नहीं है
कुछ नहीं है that's a very तक्षक का स्टोरी ऐसा है मतलब जैसे the king lived far away in an island escaping from death, but death inevitably came. I'm not saying this is death, but what I have understood, and I may be wrong also, what I've understood is you have to live the life of a journalist, and I am a journalist. That is why I'm into so many careers. A journalist is a person who works on multiple things. Okay, a journalist is a person who खेती भी करते हैं मतलब वो फसल भी वही उखाते हैं मतलब he also cooks food, he also serves food, he also knows how to sell it. Now he knows the entire thing. Not as much as one single specialist who's only doing farming. He's a jack of all trade. A jack of all trade is a person who survives AI. A specialist, AI can take us. AI can focusly learn 1,000,000 times faster than a human being, and he'll replace you. If you feel that you're a one-trick pony, then AI will replace you. You should not fear. It is inevitable. Fear to substantially inevitable. You will be replaced, but don't fear AI. I mean, I don't think we live our life fearing that one day we'll die, right? Yeah, AI is like that. So use it, but be a journalist. I have come to, but I'm still struggling to that. Okay, I'm still struggling a lot, but I'm understanding various things about AI. You have to be a journalist, and then AI is a tool for you. If you're a specialist, scared of it, fighting with it, then AI is the master of annihilation. It'll take you away. तो सवाल ही बेहुदा है basically. I mean, people should be understanding that this age is here.
Obviously, when people अभी मैं उनसे श्याम जी से बात कर रहा था तो उन्होंने कहा कि जब फोटोशॉप आया then again कि अच्छा
exactly.
it got automated.
श्याम ने सही बोला actually. तभी भी सवाल था कि आर्टिस्ट क्या करोगे? तो आर्टिस्ट है ना अभी
भी है फोटोशॉप भी है आर्टिस्ट भी है अब AI है आर्टिस्ट भी होंगे राइट
आर्टिस्ट भी हों But only one thing is कि जो AI use कर रहा है ना, AI is not a tool like Photoshop. Photoshop needs basic training. AI, some people think that, oh, I can also be artist right now. Yes, you can also be an artist, but you're not the artist that I am, because I know the basics. वो बोलना भी नहीं चाहिए, अपने अंदर ही रहना है. Because that बोलना तो that is because ये विवाद होते हैं basically. संवाद होनी चाहिए basically. संवाद and विवाद is different. विवाद is basically contradict. संवाद is communion of thoughts. I think you have to think about that angle very well. Too, if you know something, na, tell to people who make value. Otherwise, don't preach it. Do it silently. अपना काम करो. Learn new things. Life will throw tangerines at you. But those tangerines, you know what to do with it.
So in the next 5 years, so what kind of artist will struggle?
An artist who will not adapt will struggle. An artist who believes that he or she is safe doing a job will struggle. An artist who is not open for curiosity to learn things will struggle. An artist who does not have respect to others will struggle. They always struggle. These people will struggle. Those who don't, they'll survive. So excel is different. They'll survive. Excel is up to you. It's up to you. To me, that these are the people who struggle. I'm not a person who can predict it. But in the course of last 28 years,
your thoughts.
My thoughts. Yeah, 28 years I've worked. I've seen these people struggle. People who don't do that survive, and probably they also do wonders.
So after working so many years, right? So what still excites you to do and create every morning?
That's a good question. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for asking that. The line should be blurry between your work and your life. Actually, that doesn't mean you're workaholic. That basically means that you should be fortunate to say that you are earning your humble meal by doing things that you always want to do when you were a kid. I'm that actually. I mean, I always want to draw pictures. I'm doing that and I'm getting paid. I'm paying my mortgage. My kids are going to school. Thankfully, for all these things are happening from my passion, which I had picked when I was 4 or 5 years old. And that's the biggest blessing. I'm blessed by that. I think no other people are blessed with that thing. I am working on screenplays for live action also. My film my story got released in Tamil, live action film. I'm still writing for Hindi and Malayalam. I'm also working on a Kannada project right now. So I actively work on live action. But my job in live action is write. I love writing. I love stories. So if I have to retire some point of time, I'll be a person in my. I manifest that in my bag. I have a leather bag in which I'll have a sketchbook, a watercolor bag, and I'll have a iPad, and I'll have a small laptop with a word processor. I can go anywhere in the world. As long as there's internet, I can type a story and I can send it to my director friend and they'll make the movie. I get the humble payment and I can travel. If you manifest that picture, then you're happy, set.
True. Everybody wants to work,
everybody wants to stay happy. I think happiness is the important thing. I don't stick on to animation alone. I like writing stories. As I was telling, I am working on a lot of live action projects, doing stories. Currently stories because screenplay requires a lot more time. But I've written 2-3 screenplays. I've worked predominantly. The first film that got released was in Tamil. And I have 3 OTT series launched, 2 in Malayalam, and actually 3 in Malayalam, and 1 is in Tamil coming up. And I'm working more. I love genres that excites me the most are thrillers, and I feel that's what I really want to do. And it doesn't have any dependency. You just need to have a word processor right now because writing on paper itself is gone. You can, so I love that thing that I can just take a break, go to some place, open my laptop and write. A very, very difficult thing to do. Writing is one of the world's most difficult job because it's so easy to look at. It's very difficult to commit yourself to write a page a day, which I'm still doing. I would say I'm not at all successful in it, but I've managed to deliver a couple of projects. But it excites me and there's no retiring in it. Okay, so I feel that, that's what I want to do. And I fortunately have a bunch of good friends who are in live action film industry in various places like in Hindi, in Tamil, in Malayalam, and I'm working with all of them. And I already have, I'm lucky to say my name is in the titles for one movie, but I'm actually wanting to, have more in the coming days. That is where I really would like to sit. and then have a sketchbook always with me, which I always have, and draw pictures of anything I want to do. That is my retirement plan.
For freshers, right? If they're building a portfolio. So first of all, you have done hiring, right? कि आपने hiring का बहुत hiring करे होंगे. So what makes you reject a portfolio? कि देखते लगा कि अच्छा नहीं यार.
That is. I mean, I'm glad you asked that question. So portfolio basically has two requirements. One, you should be knowing exactly to what profile you're applying, to what company you're applying. Okay, so you always, as artists, we do a lot of artwork, and we say, okay, I'll put all my best artwork and make a portfolio. That was 15, 20 years back, because industries didn't have so much of bifurcation at that point of time. You only had like illustration for advertising, which also includes storyboarding, animation. Now there are so many things. You have product design, you have illustration thing, you have so many, if you look at some of these home delivery services, they have this brown bags with illustration on it. They also have illustrators. Electric mobility services also have designers in it. So the jobs are very different, and there is still a requirement of illustrator and designer everywhere. You have to understand where you're applying, where your passion lies, and then look at your portfolio and see, okay, there should be a master portfolio first. Okay, it's a master portfolio. That's your bank. I'll explain in a very, very picturesque manner. All your work goes into the bank. Everyday work, the films you make, the short films you make, sketches. In that, you have to put separate portfolios for the job you're applying at that point of time. So you see a job in LinkedIn, that's a good job. You take yourself 2 days break and pick the right ones and work on new ones to make a portfolio specifically for that. Your common portfolio will not go there. The reason why? Because though your portfolio is prospective, people who are hiring for a specific role will not have the patience to look at everything. ठीक है, तो मतलब, and also there are very few people who look at somebody, अरे इसका ये है तो इनको मैं यहाँ पे use कर सकता हूँ. There are people who used to say that. I am lucky because I was hired by people like that. Now तो ना, अरे ये नहीं है ना उनका, छोड़ो. Because we are in a medium where our attention span is so less. Unfortunately, talent is not seen. But that's about hiring. I spend good time looking at people. I will only reject a portfolio if I have no scope in it, actually. And what is no scope? No scope is basically because you see repetitive art. When I'm hiring an artist, you don't see a flavor in the design. If I'm taking a contractor for character design, I don't see a beauty in the world design or concept design or creature design if I'm hiring for a AAA game, for a specific project. I also will not take a person who makes beautiful painting, but a person who looks at the design and understands this character is from this planet, the velocity or the gravity in that planet is like this, the ships are made like that. That is a thought. I was like, this guy, he's already thinking, na? Ye to kar payega. That is where I'll apply. So your portfolio should not just be beautiful pictures. It should be a depiction of your thought process, your rough scribbles, everything comes back. And it should be very short. Ideally speaking, a portfolio should not cross about 20 pages max. It should be a combination of your rough sketches. And now I'm talking specifically about visual arts alone, animation, gaming, concept art, character designs, extracts of sketchbooks, work we've done for other clients, in which specifically mentioned कि इसमें मैंने ये काम किया है, ये बाकी किसी और ने किया. Because I'll have कि इसमें इन्होंने किया क्या है actually. Then you have to write. So put these things together. Always put your phone number, email ID on every single sheet. And don't make any funny websites, because websites are highly rejected by all these AI filters or whatever is happening. Send a normal PDF, plain attachment, and then be very precise to do a research of the company to which you're applying. उन्होंने क्या किया है? What have they designed? So you'll understand that they are working on this game. Imagine, apply your imagination and design your portfolio to favor that. A hiring manager will pick you when his or her requirement is matching with your reel. This is the smartness I was speaking about. Don't just put anything. You may be talented, but also cater your portfolio for the need that you're hiring to. That's very important. ये ना बहुत मिस होता है लोगों का. Or even call somebody कि वो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं यार, वो लोग उसमें अच्छा उसमें काम कर रहे हैं, Indian project में काम कर रहे हैं. Put your Indian designs there. So that is smartness. You'll have all wonderful designs. पूरा cartoon ही होगा. You will have the skill to do that. Nobody knows. So do that. Now this is 2D. 3D means if you're making a 3D CG portfolio, depends on what you really want to do. Now to modelers, surfacing artists का अलग-अलग portfolios. Now if I am from hiring, I'll take a person who knows modeling and texturing. So you should have a basic understanding of various kind of texturing softwares. You should understand PBR workflow. You should be understanding Substance Painter. You should be understanding modeling. rigid modeling, then a soft body model, everything. You should be knowing basic anatomy and representation skills in ZBrush. If all of them was there in 10-15 slides, turntable of CG models in various forms, if you've delivered a character design for a company, show the concept art, उसके बाद ग्रे स्केल टर्न टेबल, उसी टर्न टेबल में स्लाइस करके the mesh flow so that we can understand the mesh flow, how neat is it planning the mesh, then the final render. That means this guy knows what he's doing. So if you're a 3D modeler, you do that. If you're a storyboarding artist, do different kind of storyboards, but also make an editable Leica reel, like a animatic, and put your own sound, and then do a reel. Then you understand this guy knows timing also. So it is important, and YouTube has so many examples.
Obviously, if someone wants to learn, they can learn for free.
Absolutely. But I would love portfolio making is something that I can spend another 1 hour talking, because I have so many things. I've made so many mistakes. But it's interesting. I made mistakes because I was in an age where I could afford to do mistakes. Now people can't afford. So they should be guided. They should not make the mistakes I made. Otherwise, they will not be selected. So probably one day we'll specifically talk about portfolios in detail. I'll love to help. But yeah, crisp, short, focused, to the point, all pages marked with your phone numbers, relevant to the company's history of work, style of work, and then no websites, PDFs is a quick way of describing a portfolio. Sorry, it's a big answer, but
no. We will start another series also. Particularly on the portfolios.
Yeah. So absolutely.
You will come.
yeah, absolutely. I would love to actually, because it's important to guide. But this is very, very different for a product designer's portfolio or a design. So probably one day we'll specifically talk about portfolios in detail. I'll love to help. But yeah, crisp, short, focused, to the point, all pages marked with your phone numbers, relevant to the company's history of work, style of work, and then no websites, PDFs is a quick way of describing a portfolio. Sorry, it's a big answer, but
no. We will start another series also. Particularly on the portfolios.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
You will come.
yeah, absolutely. I would love to actually, because it's important to guide. But this is very, very different for a product designer's portfolio or a design portfolio is very different. Very different actually, yeah.
Can I ask you, what's the difference between art and design? Because most of the people are like,
lovely question, lovely controversial question. But I'll tell you from my answer, and I have an answer for that. Art is expression. Design is purpose. Okay, so Mona Lisa is art, but the thickness and the material of the frame and the what I call the refractive index and the ability to avoid flashes from not spoiling the painting, the frame that holds it, the glass that is design. The नोक है जो मतलब दीवार पे जो उस painting को hold कर रहा है, that is design. But Mona Lisa is art. So art is basically an artist's expression. Design is about making something which serves a purpose. Art is a definitive end, but design is evolving. Design never stops. If you look at any of the design that's out there, it evolves. It should evolve. Art is definitive. मैंने कल कर दिया painting, हो गया art. But design is evolving. Design has a purpose. Design has an audience. Design will have flaws. Design have user tests. Design have use cases. Art is just appreciation. आपको अच्छा लगा, ठीक है. अच्छा नहीं लगा, ठीक है. But design, you cannot do that. Design has a very specific purpose. But design cannot call art bad. Art cannot call design bad because they're siblings of the same cause. Probably they have to understand, relate more. An artist should learn design. A designer should learn art. Should respect at least. I feel that's very important.
That's a very good answer.
Yeah, I honestly feel I work with designers and artists. आर्टिस्ट बोलते हैं कि यार मेरे को डिजाइनर्स बहुत सोचते हैं यार, मतलब उसको आर्ट क्या पता है. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है, आप कभी सोचे हो उसके बारे में. डिजाइनर्स बोलते हैं कि अरे आर्टिस्ट बहुत चुपचाप रहता है. हैव यू टॉक टू देम? They are all, invested time and energy to do this. That is where you have to get up, talk to people, be curious. Yeah, the curious monkey became the human basically, right? So I always say evolution starts from there. It is very important. I think in India, and I wish, this is one big wish I have, art schools should have more design teachers and design schools should have more art teachers. हम लोग झुंड बन के रहते हैं. And I've seen that, not complaining, I've seen that. I have broken and made a fool of myself in design conferences because I'm an artist. एंड जैसे कि आप कौन सी डिज़ाइन स्कूल से, मतलब मैं डिज़ाइन स्कूल तो नहीं गया, अच्छा इसीलिए पूछ रहे हैं आप ये सब, मतलब आई डोंट नो, इसलिए पूछ रहे हो। सेम थिंग विद आर्ट ऑल्सो, आप आर्ट स्कूल नहीं गए हो, आप आर्ट कर रहे हो, मैं ना आर्ट स्कूल का हूँ ना मैं डिज़ाइन स्कूल का हूँ, आई एम क्यूरियस टू लर्न बोथ एंड आई एम हियर टू लर्न। अब कुछ भी बोलो मैं सीखूंगा, जिस तरीके से मैं सीख सकता हूँ वो सीखूंगा मैं। आई थिंक दैट्स द ओपन मेंटालिटी एवरीवन शुड कैरी, नॉट सेइंग इट शुड बी, आई वुड कैरी दैट।
काफी अच्छा लगा। नहीं, इधर जब से मैं स्टार्ट किया राइट, आई वांट टू नो कि अच्छा आई नो, बट द थिंग इज द पीपल we work with, right, not from the art or design, the third आएगी, कोई third perspective से देख रहा है,
हाँ
उसके लिए सब सेम है कि अच्छा ये भी है, ये भी है,
हाँ नहीं, एक्चुअली डिज़ाइन इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग प्रोसेस। मेरा काफ़ी पर्सपेक्टिव बदल गया व्हेन आई वर्क विद डिज़ाइनर्स। डिज़ाइनर्स थिंक इन अ वेरी आइटरेटिव फैशन, आर्टिस्ट वर्क इन अ वेरी डिफरेंट वे। आर्ट क्या करते हैं ना कि आर्टिस्ट, आई वुड लाइक टू गिव अ वेरी वियर्ड एग्जाम्पल, आर्ट इज अ वेरी शॉर्ट टेम्पर्ड वे ऑफ वर्किंग। पेपर मिला मैं बना दिया, डिज़ाइनर नहीं, पेपर मिला अच्छा क्या करना क्या है, अच्छा ठीक है कितना टाइम बाकी है, ये कब जाना चाहिए रिलीज, कितना लोग टेस्ट करेगा उसको, कब आना चाहिए रिजल्ट्स, एंड देन यू डू इट बिकॉज यू ओनली डू व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड टू बी डन। दैट इज अ डिजाइनर्स लाइक प्रॉपरली प्लानिंग थिंग्स, ये करेगा उसके बाद ये करेगा उसके बाद ये करेगा तब बनेगा। आर्टिस्ट आर टॉप डाउन एक्चुअली, ये नीचे से कोई भी करेगा, मतलब उनका थॉट प्रोसेस डिफरेंट, इट्स लाइक अ वेरी स्पोरेडिक वे ऑफ वर्किंग। आर्टिस्ट इज द मोस्ट मैडेस्ट वे ऑफ वर्किंग, डिजाइनर इज very it's systematic, you know, they're both good na, there are two kind of kids in the family. Yeah, so
we need both. Right,
you need both. Society needs designers and artists. Without art there's no empathy, without design there's no structure, so you have to have both of them.
So if you have to start your career, restart your career today, so what would you do differently?
I restarted my career right now 8 months back. I restarted every 5 years.
ये थोड़ा क्वेश्चन हो गया।
नहीं, but if I
फिर भी थोड़ा
no आपने सही सवाल पूछा, but please continue, sorry to break in your question.
That's the question कि हाँ, if you have to start today in 2025, so what would you do differently?
If I'm restarting right now, I will first interact more with people who are part of the community. I will talk to the topmost person I can access to, okay, who will help me. To be very frank with you, when I broke into this industry, I interacted with two people. I mean, one person, dear friend, great designer, Anand Ramachandran. He's a very famous, reputed, and a very well-respected game designer. And he gave me a lot of insight. He's a very busy person, one of the most busiest game designers in India. Very, very, very talented person. And then he gave me insight. So you have to actually get up and ask. They're all busy people, right? So you have to go and ask questions. Then he said, you know what, you should actually try this thing. And also he helped me when I wanted a help. That's also I should respect. You know, without that break, I would not have gotten into the industry. Then I talk with people. Then you have to surround yourself with people who can teach you. And you know, so you have to talk with designers. You have to be very open. Don't carry that ghost of your previous career along with you. Last career में मेरा cabin था. I never used to talk to people. मेरा काम चलते थे. इसमें तो यही नहीं है. I have to walk around and talk. So that you have to have the humility to come down to zero and then start again. That's the first thing. If I'm doing it again, as long as I'm alive on this planet, I will start my career like this. Because people don't have time to think about the foolishness you've done. They'll probably make fun of you one day. But over the course of time, when the world is silent, you're the winner. So that is a way to start with career, according to me.
So the same advice to the freshers also?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. Embrace the inevitable, you know, conquer the unknown, ask questions, read, make a fool of yourself. Anybody who's achieved anything in the world, that's the only way. And I always feel that, you know, a good part of my life, time that I have in my hand, I've always put forward to ask questions which I don't know from people who know from the various industries, and to also help people who come to me asking questions. Now this 2 weeks is vacation basically for me. I'm just taking a break. But part of it is also to interact with a lot of students in various places. So I'll possibly have 4 or 5 coffee catch-ups set up already. Look at portfolios, ask questions, and I really look forward to it. Because I don't think I'm a teacher, but when you attempt to teach, you learn. I always believe that's the only way of learning. Because I have never come from a conventional college. So I don't have nothing to lose, right?
क्या क्या ही कहेगा कोई
exactly. I'm not doctrined by any principle, because that is not because I am against education. I have a problem learning. Okay, I have always been a person. जब मैं बड़ा हो रहा था, people used to tell things. I was very bad in math. I'm still bad in math. So I cannot comprehend numbers, because numbers don't tell a story. 6 plus 3 does not give a picture to me. But you put physics, friction, gravity. The word friction brings a picture in my mind. कुछ तो image है. I can only relate to pictures. History was my favorite subject because I can always see ये राजा वहाँ पे गया तो ये वार हो गया तो तलवार लगा रहा है. I can, and my history is very easy. Maths is difficult because it does not bring any visuals. So my kid and my partner, my wife, is a wonderful human being. She's actually trying so hard, and we've actually pushed our elder one into doing something which he's also has a trouble with learning math. But he's a wonderful artist and designer. So हमने maths ही निकाल दिया उसके subject से. Removed maths and we put design. And what happened was he scored centum, and then he went into design, and now he is doing his Bachelor of Design. And I've been telling people, don't just stick onto that path. Your kid might be wonderful in something else. You never know. Liberate them and you see what wonders they can create. So this is another thing that I'm very clear about. If you do that to one person, it's a domino effect. It'll go to society, and you can see how the next generation will flourish and be something else. We'll only be around for some time, but the legacy gets passed. Yeah, absolutely.
So इस conversation से एक और question याद आया कि the formal education, right? And there are some self-taught artists, right? So कि the self-taught artists हैं, they are good or they are bad in the formal education. कि will they beat कि अच्छा?
Oh no, I am not qualified to give that answer, but I will say कि nobody is good, nobody is bad. A self-taught artist, according to me, and I can tell from my experience, I was not a self-taught artist because I want to be a self-taught artist. I was a self-taught artist because I had no option. इच्छा था मतलब, लेकिन I had no options. So when you're a self-taught artist, you have to put a lot more effort than a structured thing. But if you are lucky enough to afford education and go to the best colleges, I think you should do it, because that time you get to learn, the time you get to learn what you want to learn, you'll never get in life again. For me, it was not the case. I was learning when I was doing a job. I got married. I was handling my family, still learning. If you have the 4 years of design education or design art education, you will only do draw. Of course, have fun with friends, draw and paint and stuff. That is the beauty of and also you will not be taught by anyone. Forget the fact, no design colleges, no art colleges are there to teach you. They are there to provide an environment for you. You have to select, you have to be a sponge, taking ink from outside. Take good things. वो मौका ना आपको तभी मिलेगा जब कॉलेज जाएगा तो. And you should be, I mean, if you are in colleges, you are blessed. Don't consider which college. But a self-taught artist, na, uphill battle. You have to fight. Most people achieve that because उन्होंने लगन लगाया है कि मैं तो I had that thing. I could not say one is better than the other, but they are both important. But a self-taught artist who has no respect to a college and a college person who has no respect to self-taught artists will not flourish. It is a society, is a balance of all kind of people. I am self-taught, but my team members have gone to premium design schools. But they respect me and respect them. I sometimes ask, आप ये कहाँ से सीखा? अच्छा आपके कॉलेज में ये बुक थे, वो कैसे थे? Then I'll subscribe the book because I never had a college, so it's okay. I think they're more important. That ego of me not in college, मैंने सब खुद ही सीख लिया, तब तो गया फिर.
ईगो इज डिफरेंट. ईगो तो किसी को भी नहीं आना चाहिए, राइट?
Exactly.
सीखने के चक्कर में तो बिल्कुल नहीं. अगर आपको सीखना है तो ईगो तो इज
exactly. They both have their own pros and cons. They're both blessed and cursed also. दोनों का अलग है. Like my teacher used to tell me कि when I joined animation, अजीत सर ने मुझे बोला कि it's easy to teach you because you had not gone to an arts college. It's easy to form your mind because आपने कोई structure में नहीं गया. But the person who came from art college, his art was 10 times better than me. क्योंकि मुझे drawing सीखना था actually. उन्होंने drawing सीख लिया था. What he had, I didn't have. What I had, he didn't have. But teacher was saying like, no, you both have pros and cons. Now, मेरा तो दुगना काम. I have to balance both of you. So, there are pros and cons for both of them.
कि हमारे YouTube पे कमेंट ही था ये कि अच्छा मैं सेल्फ टॉट करूँ या मैं फिर किसी कॉलेज में जाके एडमिशन
I will not recommend anything, but you should be
and
self-taught also when you're thing. But I have one small concern here, which is what I would like to express is we don't have enough design and art, especially art design. So there are some hand-picked very few colleges or very small ateliers in India which teach proper art. Otherwise, there are environments where you can teach. Good books are there with old colleges. I mean, forget the fact about teaching. We should get more books, more libraries, and encourage basics of art. Okay, very important. It is very important to learn basics of art. It might look very childish for some very accomplished you know people, but no, I'm not saying accomplished people, but it'll be very, people will think, why do you want to learn all these things? You can directly start doing your expression. It is good, but understanding the basics make a lot of difference. If you look at some of the world famous colleges, design colleges and art colleges in the world, they start from basics. Like draw a human skeleton for 3 or 4 months and know every single bone's name. And you say, why all these things? But what happens is that forms the basis of everything. Understand the clay for a while before sculpting. We kind of sometimes rush in, but I feel it's very important. That is where I miss a college. I really feel I should have gone for a college.
So what advice would you give to your younger self?
My younger son, do what you want to do. He
No,
dance.
your younger self. If you have to
My
give
younger self.
yourself.
Okay, my younger self. That's a good question. It's a very interesting question I'm going to give. I have stayed in a companies for very, very long time. Okay, never do that mistake again. Not because I was having fun. I was learning a lot. You should be, at one point of time I want to make movies, but I never did that because I was afraid this is very comfortable for me. Break your comfort zone. That's the first advice I'll give. Second thing is travel the world when you have to. Make money, but don't worry about money. I was at that stage. Okay, quickly, my dad's retiring, I'll make this. And when at this stage, everything happens on its own pace. And make a lot of friends. I never made a lot of friends because I was busy to get into a career. I was very focused at that point of time. All my friends are artists. If I'm not talking about art, I don't have any other friends. I don't watch cricket. I don't talk about stock exchange. I don't know about vehicles, engines. I don't know any of them. My thing is कि I like jazz. And मतलब ये बंदा क्या बोल क्या रहा है मतलब, and then he talks about movie making, and then he talks about comic books. You'll never find friends. I should have made some friends. That's what I would advise. But one thing I'll tell the old person is stay as curious as your older self. I'm still curious. Practice curiosity. It's very important.
So that's it for today.
Oh yeah, of course, Neeraj. Wonderful pleasure.
Before wrapping this up, right? So, any advice, any suggestions, and anything for our platform, for me, for our podcast?
I would just first of all congratulate you on putting this noble effort of this platform. You will have 10 viewers, then 10 becomes 100. I'm pretty sure podcasts like this will deserve the attention you deserve very soon. You will have a lot more fun and encouragement happening when you connect with the universities. This is always good. Don't stop this. Don't even think. Even if you get busier, you should keep this chapter happening.
I will not stop.
Yeah, this is wonderful. This is wonderful because you have a wonderful way of connecting with people. This is a wonderful social networking mode for you and for others to talk. And also one more thing is people who are hesitant to come in front of camera. Like I told a lot of probably nonsense right now, but the gut and glory that you get when you put yourself in front of camera, you'll only learn once you do that. Tomorrow I'll go to anything. That's the way learning process for me and other designers.
True.
Second thing is I wish you all the very best, and I'll always be around to help your community, your platform, and I look forward to the next one. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. You made my day, basically.
Thank you for your valuable time.
Of course. Thank you too. Thank you so much. Yeah.